Welcome to Let Me Break It Down, the channel where complex ideas become simple through visual storytelling. Whether it's AI, business, technology, psychology, or the future of work, we're here to break it down, one idea at a time. We are standing at a really fascinating intersection in the history of internet economics. Right now, artificial intelligence has evolved to a point where it can handle up to 90% of the mechanical, repetitive work required to run an online business. 90%. But as documentary storytellers exploring this space, we have to look past the hype and ask, what is the actual reality of this shift? Because when 90% of the friction is suddenly removed from starting a business, it fundamentally changes market dynamics.
And that leads us to our core thesis for this explainer. It's a basic, unbreakable rule of economics. Low barriers to entry attract massive crowds. When a side hustle requires minimal effort to start, competition inevitably floods in. So to navigate this new landscape, we can't just look at what AI can do. We have to evaluate these opportunities through a progressive framework. We call this the AI side hustle value ladder. We're going to order these methods from the most competitive to the least to show you where the real opportunities actually lie.
Let's start right at the bottom of the ladder with Tier 1, high competition, low effort. This is the crowded, shallow end of the pool, where learning curves aren't measured in years or even months, but in mere days. The first method here is AI clipping. Look, big creators have hours and hours of long-form content, and they know short clips are the absolute best way to reach new fans. Because attention is the most valuable currency on the internet right now, they will gladly pay you for exposure. And the wild part? AI handles 90% of this. Tools like Opus Clips automatically find the best moments in a podcast, cut the footage, and add formatting and captions. It only costs about $15 a month to start, but because it's just so easy, the competition is staggeringly high.
Okay, let's dive into this. The anatomy of this hustle is pretty straightforward. You start by finding campaigns on marketplaces like content rewards. For instance, maybe you're clipping sports footage for $1 per 1,000 views. You drop that long-form video into an AI tool, post the output daily across social platforms, and double down on the styles that get traction. It is a simple loop. But here is the reality check. Because everyone jumps in, the only way to survive Tier 1 is pure persistence. Consistency alone is what puts you ahead of the 99% of people who try this and quit within a week.
But the shallow end isn't just about editing video. It also extends to the written word. With AI ghostwriting, you're generating social media posts, newsletters, and ad copy for businesses. The learning curve jumps slightly here to about 1 or 2 weeks, and your startup capital sits around $20 to $40 a month for tool subscriptions. The competition is still high for sure, but the barrier is just tall enough to filter out those absolute lowest effort attempts. This brilliantly illustrates where human value actually sits in content creation today. The AI does 75% of the heavy lifting. You can use Perplexity to pull fresh industry research in seconds, and Claude to draft the actual posts based on a client's past writing. But clients aren't paying for raw, robotic ChatGPT output. They are paying for that human 25%. They're paying for your judgment, your taste, and your ability to position them perfectly in a specific niche, like finance or tech startups. Now, once you're ready to graduate from basic content generation to building functional digital assets, you step into Tier 2, the e-commerce middle ground. This is a crucial transition point in our breakdown.
The first asset class here is AI websites. But we aren't just talking about any generic websites. The real money is in one-page landing pages designed for one specific purpose: selling. Course creators, coaches, and agencies desperately need high-converting pages. With builders like Wix or Hostinger, you can prompt the AI to design a clean, modern landing page with a bold call to action. The AI handles 80% of the design, copy, and layout. Because you actually have to understand what makes a page convert, the competition drops to medium.
Now, if building client websites isn't your speed, Tier 2 also offers the ultimate shortcut into e-commerce, the AI Shopify store. The learning curve here is practically zero. AI takes over 95% of the workload, and you can literally start with just $1. The AI picks the products, builds the shopfront, writes the listings, and even handles the shipping for you. Let's walk through this highly automated playbook. You use a tool like Build Your Store to pick a niche, say fashion or electronics. You follow the guided setup prompts to launch the Shopify front end. Then you connect a tool like AutoDS, which uses AI to find winning products, populate your store, keep prices updated, and ship items directly to customers. You never touch a single package. The AI handles the inventory. Your sole responsibility is driving traffic to the store. So far, we've looked at methods where the AI does almost everything right out of the gate. But as we've established,
Easy access means you're always fighting against a crowd. Which brings us to the ultimate question for this explainer. How do you escape the medium and high competition tiers entirely? Seriously, how do you actually beat the 99%?
Well, you do it by stepping into Tier 3. Low competition, high reward. Welcome to the blue ocean of the value ladder, where committing just a little bit of time creates a massive moat around your business.
The first method in this blue ocean is building AI agents. Think of these as digital employees. Small businesses, like your local dentist or plumber, typically miss over 50% of their incoming calls every single day. That is an enormous amount of lost revenue for them. Using a tool like Dial Zara, you can set up a 24/7 AI receptionist that answers calls, books appointments, and captures leads with human-like conversation. And finally, the competition here is low.
The crucial point here is understanding where the real friction is. The hardest part of this method isn't actually the tech. It takes a few minutes to give the AI its instructions. That 1 to 2 month learning curve, that's all about having the persistence to get your first clients. You build a demo receptionist, walk into a local business, and let the owner hear the AI answer the phone live. Once they hear what it's capable of, it essentially sells itself, and you charge a monthly retainer to keep it running.
Next up, in Tier 3, we have AI avatars. We are seeing these hyper-realistic virtual influencers popping up on social media, securing real sponsorship deals, selling physical products, and most viewers have no idea they aren't real people. Using platforms like Higgsfield, you can design a digital character, choosing their gender, ethnicity, style, using simple sliders. It takes about 2 to 3 months to truly master, and competition is incredibly low because the industry is just so brand new.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the trade-off it presents. AI handles 70% of the work, generating the face, animating the video, and removing every annoying part of being a traditional influencer. Your avatar never has a bad hair day, never ages, and you never have to set up a camera. But the real effort, your 30%, lies in mastering audience strategy. You have to give them a personality, write engaging scripts, and build a community. The AI builds the actor, sure, but you still have to be the director.
Finally, we reach the absolute peak of the value ladder, AI app building. Custom software used to cost businesses tens of thousands of dollars and months of development. Today, using AI app builders like Lovable or Emerant, you can build actual functioning software without writing a single line of code yourself. You just describe what you want, like an investment portfolio tracker or a booking system, and the AI writes the code while you watch it appear on screen. Because most people assume this is just way too complicated, the competition is very, very low.
But let's clarify that 2 to 3 month learning curve. Building an app with AI is not like learning to code from scratch. It is much more like learning to drive. The first month is going to be awkward. Things will definitely break. The real skill you are learning is how to prompt the AI to fix its own bugs. It's a back-and-forth conversation. Once you get used to it, you possess a highly lucrative skill. You can charge businesses thousands per custom project or launch your own app and collect monthly subscription revenue.
As we bring this explainer together, we need to focus on the one constant across all 7 of these methods. Let's talk about your human advantage.
Looking at everything from clipping viral videos to coding complete software ecosystems, the tools will change and the platforms will evolve, but your core value proposition remains exactly the same. Across the board, AI is consistently handling the heavy lifting, the mechanical work, the coding, the editing, the drafting. That's the 80%. But your taste, your ability to build client relationships, your strategic market research, and your eye for what converts, that is the 20%. And that 20% human judgment is what actually generates the revenue. The AI is the engine, but you still have to steer the car.
Which brings us to our final actionable takeaway. We live in a world where everyone is searching for the easiest, laziest route to success. Because the barriers to entry have vanished, initial enthusiasm is at an all-time high, but endurance is at an all-time low. Applying sustained, focused human effort to these incredibly powerful AI tools is your ultimate unfair advantage.
Thanks for watching. Let me break it down. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more visual explanations of the world's most interesting ideas, subscribe and join us for the next episode. Until then, stay curious, and we'll break it down.